you very much.
I hope I got your name right.
Yes,
Okay.
Awari Karo, Engineer Moses Awari Karo when come out.
Okay. Engineer Moses Aware Caro.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for speaking to us. In fact, you have in a statement indicated that your union will not be part of the strike that's ongoing by Clogsag. I know you're usually comrades in arm with them, and you have on many occasions worked with them to get certain things demands met. Why this time? Why have you decided that this time you'll not go with your comrades?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and good morning to all our listeners. It's a pleasure speaking to you this morning on this issue. In fact, as you alluded to, we are always together in organizing for better conditions and then other issues for our members. And one other thing is that this is closer more or less than to services. But the local government service workers union solely is a union directly in charge of local government service workers. And one of the issues which we all are aware of in our service norms is the position of the director or the registrar of the defendant. We can rise through the ranks. Our termination point is deputy registrar. This is what is in our service norms.
Okay,
And
when you
that
rise,
is
you're
of
saying
the
when you rise
registrar.
through the ranks, the highest you can go is deputy registrar.
Yes, please.
Okay.
And that is the reason why equally the Constitution acknowledges the appointment of the director. But it is for us, since we know in our service norms that is where we rise up to, why then do we call for something which we know is out of our hierarchy of assertion? We can lobby to say that, look, we think that we have equally capable men and women who can, out of a lot, be selected or appointed or nominated by the president form to be able to man that very end, which has a different method that we can use to equally scale through the various councils of the local government service as well as the civil service council. But to bluntly say that is what we say that no, for the local government service staff of these decentralized departments, the onus lies on us to do what is needful. And what is needful is sticking to what our mandate or the service conditions see clearly for us, than veering into areas where, in that case, we would have equally been asking that, yes, as we have able coordinating directors in the West, we think that now the appointments or nomination of chief executives to the various MNDs, we should rather rise to that occasion. But that is not the case. And that is why we are saying that as members and our other colleagues, since this matter has equally been petitioned to court, let us wait for the ruling. But irrespective of, since the existing laws make certain things very clear, we should not use this as a medium to really renege on services that we need to render to the good people of Ghana. And that is why we said now, on this basis, all our staff or workers of the various MMDs, that is the metropolitan, municipal, and then district, as well as the sub-metros, the units of zonal councils, and town councils, we should carry out with our duty as expected. Depending when the business lobbying can be done. But if we stand on the person that the president should see and then turn down the appointment, it means that we are equally acting in bad faith. That is actually the position of us as a service.
I see. You seem to disagree with your colleagues in Clogsag when they insist that even the registrar position is a civil service position.
You see, like I said, the framers of the law have been very explicit on certain things. There are certain positions as chief directors of the various ministries, which is under the civil service, Nobody, yes, they can appoint from an array of those who are up to their position through the council. But this very one, since it's very explicit by law, as my service, as local government service, this is very clear in our what do you call it, status. So why should we, when something is very clear in your status, in as much as we equally want to add our voice to them that, oh, it would be good for the registrar being in a position where they think that as civil service, one of the chief directors to rise to that very occasion. We don't dispute that. But the local government service, it is very clear. So should I say that if the doctors think that the Minister of Health is not a doctor, since I'm equally a government worker, I should say we are also on strike? No. In as much as we sympathize with them in this direction, we should not equally say that, oh, because of this very thing being clear with this law, and we think that there are procedures that can rectify that, we should just blatantly say, oh, we are all putting down our tools. We should rather call for maybe the revision of that very clause or an amendment to that, so that at least it will give birth to that. But not at this material moment, when we are all trying to put things in order and lobby for other things, we now veer into this. It's at least the Ghanaian populace will look at us as if we are a bit selfish. We must be very objective with certain things. And that is the position that we are appealing to our members, that not that what they call by the civil service is wrong, but we local government service staff, it doesn't really matter to us as such. What the law says, we must adhere to it, and then at least render our services in as much as it is, and then equally add our voices through other routes to make sure that, yes, they can make such amendments, and then let someone within the civil service rise to it. But as it stands now, well, until the court rules, but it is very explicit with the various statutes that we have now. First and this original have been part of the local government service not today. But since this revision, the promulgation of the creation of the head of the local government service, certain things have been made very clear. So certain amendments, I think, now looking at the challenges we are being confronted with, there is a need for others to rise to it. The council will go through the council and then let them make some of these recommendations to the council. The council will really put before the executive to look at some of these things. But when we have not exhausted this procedure and we jump into some of these, I think that it is a bit premature. That's my personal opinion.
I see. You said there's still a matter before court.
Yes, Clogsag went to court for an interpretation, and as it stands, that mandate is given to the president to appoint the registrar. We write on the level or the level the grade we have to write at is a deputy registrar when it comes to the birth and death, which is a full decentralized department. So if we are looking at it from that point, yes, as we solidarize with them that, oh, it is something they must look at, because at the ministry, there's a civil service at the ministry level who are in charge of the ministries. The local government service is in charge of all the MMPs, and then the RCCs, sub-metros, what we call it, town councils, and town and area councils, and the unit committee levels. So there are certain things we should understand, because sometimes others misinterpret looking at Clogsag to be, it's an association, all right, of these two, because it is not the union for, the civil service has its own union, all right, but this one is a group we have all come together. But we must fight on a cause which is just.
And as far as you're concerned, this cause is not just.
This call, yes, if it is a call by the civil service, that, or they think that there should be an amendment to the law for them to rise to that occasion as a registrar, we have no qualms about it. But as local government, part of local government service, we don't have that one. It is very clear. So it is for us to rather, if we think that yes, the deputy director position that we will rise up to, there is a need we have. All it takes for them to look at it, yes, with the vast experience we have, we can rise to the occasion as the registrar of the death and debts. Why not? We will leave it to the council, and they can make amendments, which they have to lay down procedures. We don't jump into it when it's very clear. It is like the first day as my head of service. The head of service is appointed by the president of the local government service. It's not someone who writes to it. Are you getting it? So these are things which are laid down, and those individuals have a specific role with the executive, and that is why unions play the role of engaging others or other labor experts to equally see some of these and make certain recommendations, and we'll push it through the executives. And sometimes they are able to make such amendments. So why wouldn't we exhaust them? One is very clear. I can't just jump in as a national chairman and say that, as an engineer, I can just assume the position that I think the president should rather let me be right as the chief executive of my district. No. Then I have to resign.
I see, because your counterpart at Clogsag keeps talking about a Supreme Court judgment that says that if you're a politically exposed person, you should stay away from the civil service. I'm sure you're aware of this Supreme Court judgment. Do you essentially disagree with this interpretation?
Precisely. You know, somewhere around 2015 or so, was it? Yes. There was a situation of that sort where at one point local government service workers or staff were comparing themselves with the civil service because that time their condition of service weren't very explicit about the partisan or political correlation by staff. So they thought that they equally have such privileges because others within civil service can go contest for elections. When they lose, they come back and continue. They could equally do the same because they are in an association called Clogsag. But it was very clear that local government service has its different modus operandi compared to the civil service. So that is why, at a point, others who were in the local government service who put themselves out for elections within political space were at first interdicted and then were dismissed. Very clear. But because they look at it from the association point of view, they think they are equally closed by such exemption. And that is the reason why we, within the staff of the local government service and other staff of the civil service, that is the reason why the neutrality allowances were granted because of the non-politicization. But the registrar has different conditions of service compared to the other members or the other staff who are from the deputy directorship downwards. But those ones with appointment have their own emoluments different from us.
So you're suggesting that if it was intended that it should be a civil service position, the conditions would be the same?
If it were to be, come again.
I am asking whether you're suggesting that if the intention was to make it a civil service position, the conditions would have been the same.
Oh, yes. But in our status, it's very clear. I can, because the local government service, more or less, we do implementation of government, implementation of government policies. We are to formulate it at the grassroots for them to more or less put it to action. If there are other setbacks, we advise every government of the day, it is our duty to work with whatever policies that government comes on board with. If it is going to fail, we must identify the early warnings and report on for us to see that these are the challenges in implementation. Then, if there is a need to, with whatever the practical nature of how it must be implemented, we come out with it. Then the ministry, they will also reshape it to turn in that direction for it to succeed. It is not for me to criticize, or that is the reason why they say that our service colleagues, we are in for the government of the day, whatever policies and directives given for us to implement up to the grassroots. That is our mandate. The ministry is there to formulate the policy. We do the implementation, and that is why our actions and inactions should not discriminate among any, whether the less privileged or by political convention or tribe or any. No. That is the core protocols of our service. So the chief executive or the registrar who comes there, that's why the deputy director comes in. We have a certain mandate. But we think that at a certain level, because it's also answerable to someone else, whoever is answerable to, the policy should not be in contradiction with what we've access to implement. But there is room for us to lobby, to think that, oh yes, looking at this very position of the registrar, we think that the Constitution, giving that prerogative to the president in the that, let the council, in consultation with the civil and the local government council, appoint or nominate capable men who have risen to the occasion. Like the security service, when you're getting to commissioner or this, you have been appointed by the president or recommended by the president. He's saying that we must lobby to let the law reflect as such. And that is the reason why we can't make much noise as we petition our concerns, that this needs to be looked at. But I hope that the Supreme Court or the High Court, when it passes judgment, because its judgment, what was sent, was about the neutrality, which is very explicit, but something which the law, the statutes state clearly that this person, the president have that, His Excellency have the mandate to appoint that person. We can't begrudge that. But we should use other means to still make our concern heard that, this very thing, we should be considered for it to be one to rise to the occasion. And that will be more motivating to all staff as well.
Mr. Awari Karo, I hope I got the name right this time around.
Awari Karo.
Awari Karo, okay. Mr. Awari Karo, thank you very much for speaking to us.
You're welcome.